Uh, Thank you, sir, and good morning to you all. Uh, as sir said earlier, uh, although we have a website in our local machine, others can't see it until we host it in a web server. Therefore, it is needed to host our website in a web server. Web hosting is uploading and keeping our local web files in a web server to be able to view through the internet. And also we have to maintain the server, our files by time to time, updating, editing, likewise. Uh, so, what are the basic requirements to host a web? Before all, we have to know type of web hosting. Main types of web hosting service. There are main four hosting types. First one is shared hosting. Second one is virtual private server hosting, VPS hosting. Third one is cloud hosting, and the final one is dedicated hosting. There are another three types of sub hosting types other than this. They are reseller hosting, and WordPress hosting, like that. But all those sub hosting types are mainly depending on these four types web hostings. Firstly, let's we see about shared hosting. This is shared hosting. Shared hosting mean there is a one server, one physical server. In that physical server, there may be number of sites. These all sites share in the physical server's resources. That's why we say it's shared hosting. This is one site, this is one site, this is the server. Then all the server resources shares those sites. There are pros and cons here. Cost effective, that means very low in cost. Performance is also some low, but it is moderate. Uh, Considering cost, the user should not have much technical knowledge to use the shared hosting, and the server configuration ability allowed to the user is very minimum, because number of site handlers must configure their area individually. Therefore, server control ability it is very small. That is shared hosting. Then second one is virtual private server, otherwise VPS hosting. VPS hosting meaning web host creates a virtual partition for each user. Each user can have virtual partitions of the server. Our first one was shared hosting was multiple users share the same server resources. Now here VPS is web host creates virtual partition for each user. Each user have each user has one separate partitions for their sites. Therefore, a dedicated server space can have one user, and also increased traffic on other websites has no impact on your site performance. That means once another site's traffic condition doesn't impact to other sites, but in this case shared hosting, server traffic may be affected to all the sites in this server. In this case, cost is some high and performance is better. Much technical knowledge is needed to use this VPS hosting method, and server control is very totally we can totally control the server, as we have a virtual partition for each our sites. The third one is cloud hosting. In cloud hosting, the hosting solution uses several virtual servers to host site, not a one server, several virtual servers. We can use a couple of virtual servers to host one site. Therefore, there are some advantages on this cloud hosting other than using a one server. Those are reduced likelihood of downtime and hardware failure. If we host our site in a one server, the server, if that server down, then our site also down. But in this technology, our site can be installed in different servers in one time. Therefore, if one server down, but our site will not down. That is the main advantage of this cloud hosting. Cost is too much, performance better, best performance. Technical knowledge is not needed much. Server controls is medium. Then dedicated hosting. When considering dedicated hosting, the 1, 2, 3 hosting types used one server for different sites, but this type dedicated one dedicates a physical server to each website. That means one server include only one website. Cost is very high, performance better, technical knowledge, very good technical knowledge need the user to handle this kind of hosting type. Server configuration ability and server configuration ability is best. That means we can do all the configuration techniques and all the configuration methods to use this site, as we have the physical server to our website. Those are the 4 hosting service types: shared, VPS, cloud, dedicated. Then what are the main requirements for web hosting? As we learned earlier, we should have a web page to host in a server, HTML, PHP or other web page and website, or and media, other medias, JPGs, videos, audios, like all the resources we should have. Then a domain name. As you know, there are hundreds of domain names here now. .com, .lk, .net, .org, .info, .uk, likewise. One of domain names we should have to host our website. Next one is a web server. We need a web server to install these files. The final one is an FTP client. This is not compulsory. When we buy a web hosting, we can upload our files without an FTP client. But when we have a FTP client, we can upload files easily other than using web hosting tools on web hosting package. Okay, first one, we know already a web page, if we have a web page, but how do we buy a domain name? There are a number of domain name providers. One is whois.com. We can search our preferred domain name here, and when we click search, if that domain name available, we can buy from this site. Like this is a shopping cart. We can add our site name to this shopping cart, and as normal buying process, when we follow a normal buying process, we can buy the domain name. This is whois.com. This is another domain name provider, domain.com. This is another one, godaddy.com. This is another one, onlydomains.com. This is domains.lk, the LK domain provider in Sri Lanka. If we want to buy a LK domain, we have to buy using this domain provider. After now we have a domain name. After that, we want to buy a web server. Before buying a web server, it is needed to buy a domain name before all. Then after, we can apply for a web server. This is a web server web hosting service provider. Here we have domain name providers, these hosting providers. There are a number of hosting plans here. Now hosting plan, those are their particular names. There are other dreamhost.com. There are hundreds of web hosting providers in internet. We can search them by typing web hosting keyword. This is another package. This is another package. This is another package. Monthly, $1.88 monthly. Here hosting.lk. This is another domain name, domain hosting package provider. This is webhost.lk. This is also another web hosting service provider. This is actually reseller web hosting package. This is a shared hosting package. Here is a very low cost, 3600 per year. We can have 1 GB data transfer. That means monthly data transfer bandwidth. This is the bandwidth, 50 GB. We can host 2 domains here. PHP MySQL available. Web hosting control panel is CPanel 2. CPanel backup available. That means we can backup our website. This is another one. This is another one. There are some advantages other than basic package: 2 GB, 3 GB, bandwidth 100 GB, bandwidth 150 GB, likewise. So after we complete the buying process by login this website, we can have a web server. After completing this web server buying process, the email, an email from that hosting provider sent to the buyer or user by providing the technical information of the website, web hosting package. This is a sample technical email I received. This is hosting package CPanel 2, 2 GB package. Domain is this one. I bought this domain from LK domain. The hosting package payment was 2100, because this is very earlier taken package, 2100 per year. Billing cycle annually. That means annual payment is 2100. Here next due date 27th April in 2019. And also another link comes with this email, that is CPanel link, and also username and password also they provide us. Using these details, we can log onto our CPanel. And also other server information also was in that email: FTP host name and username, password, port 21. Web page URL is this. Email settings also mentioned in that email. So after, when we type www. Here lankashop.lk/cpanel, we directed to this CPanel login page. Now I am going to show it you directly how to log in CPanel. Here this is the login page, and this is my provided username and password. Now we can log in here. This is the server configuration CPanel. There are number of tools to handle our and maintain our website in this server. This is the CPanel interface. Though this is the general information about this CPanel here. Username, primary domain, shared IP address, home directory, last login IP address, paper lantern is the theme, and there are number of categories. This is email category, this is file category, SEO and marketing tools, and database. Here PHP, MyAdmin, MySQL databases are also here. Domain, here domains. Metrics, that means there are some statistics here. Security, we can manage our security settings using this category. Software, we can develop a number of types of websites using this software category. Advanced, preferences, application. Here Softaculous apps installer. Here WordPress, Joomla, other e-commerce website we can develop easily using CMS, content management system. These are all are content management systems. So how do we create a domain here? In other words, how do we add our both domains here? Here is the place to do it. This is the place that I added some domains in this server. Here I have this server, but I have 4 domains in this server. I have added 4 domains in this server. Main domain is here, this one. These are add-on domains. This is a subdomain. This one is an add-on domain. This one is also an add-on domain. If we buy another domain name, we can add that domain using this tool, add-on domains. First domain is already added here, therefore that is the main domain. All the other domains we purchase, we should add by this add-on domain tool. Here we can type www.xyz.com like that. If we have subdomains here, we can type here. After that, add domain, we can click add domain button. Then if we have really we have bought this domain, this domain will be shown in this list. Okay, then how do we access our files? Now we have add-on domains here. This is one, this is another one. So how do we access our files and where to upload our files? This is the category that we can handle our files. This is the file manager of the web server, of my web server. There may be different types of cPanel types. Therefore, there are different file manager system and tool categories uh, uh, in those servers. There may be difference in appearance. This is the my cPanel file management tool. Okay, now this is my file manager. So I said you Lanka shop. Okay, there are many folders here, but this is the folder we should upload our HTML files, public HTML. Here when we double click, we can go into that folder, public HTML. If we create folders, or if we put our HTML files in this folder, what is public HTML folder, that folder can access by internet. Other users can see our files using internet by URL. Now this is my one of my site. I can show you it as an example here. Now this is the site folder, site directory. When we type here now www.lankashop.lk, okay, here this is the site. This is the site. The site is located here, public HTML in directory of Lanka shop. So this is the index.php file. I will right click and go to edit. We can see the file here. There are other sites also. This is another one. This is also in public HTML folder. No, here. I will check it. Anyway, this is also, oh yes, this is index file. Now we can access it by typing here, typing like this. So this is the file system in a web hosting package in a web server. So we can upload files. Now public HTML, we can upload files without using a FTP client. FTP client mean a tool, a software that can upload files onto a web server. We can actually, there are tools to upload files here also. We can upload our local computer files here. We can select files and we can yes. Now I am trying to upload the file. Now it was uploaded 100% completed. Go to back home. Now let's see, edit, so review. this is the file now. This file, I can create another folder here, and we can actually upload this file into that folder, and we can use this URL with that folder name, test. Create new folder, test. Now we can upload, sorry, test. We can upload the file to that folder, and we can, let's check, is it not found? Okay, this time I can't explain it clearly. Anyway, this is the method. Then without using this file uploading method, we can use clients like FileZilla. There are many more FTP clients here. FileZilla, WinSCP, CyberDuck, Transmit, QtFTP, like there are much more FTP clients to upload files onto web server. This time I will show you how do we use FileZilla to upload our files onto web server. This place we must type host, from where we can find this host name. We can find this host name by using our email, our technical details email, FTP host name. This one is that ftp.lankashop.lk. we can type it here, ftp.lankashop.lk. this is my domain name. Here the username, here password I have received. The using port is 21, quick connect. This is the status monitor. Okay, now we have connected to our server without web browser. This is our server. It is also this side also our server. Now this is our local computer site. This is our server side. Now we can easily move our files here and there. That means now we can go into public HTML folder. Here, this is our public HTML folder, same as we already shown in our file manager of our server. So we can send our files using this side. This side means our local machine side. Here, see users our local site path. Here web path, remote site path. Now C desktop, this desktop, let's send some one file here, drag and drop, test.txt, drag and drop. here transfer in. Okay, now completed. Now our local machine file was on our local machine. Now there is a copy in our server side. So this is the way to uh, transfer files to our remote server, that is called web hosting. Thank you all.